The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, in partnership with the Economic Community of West African States and the Nigerian Red Cross, have launched a Humanitarian Response Assistance Project Phase 2 for flood-affected and humanitarian disaster communities in 6 states of the country. They made this known in Abuja at the presentation of the sum of $960,205 for funding of the project to be overseen by the ministry. They say the project is to support President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda addressing humanitarian situations across the states most affected by flooding. They added that the project was timely as it seeks to ameliorate the plight of victims of these emergency situations.
The humanitarian response for affected population for post-2022 flood disaster in Nigeria will be carried out in Adamawa, Kogi, Kebbi, Oyo, Rivers, and Anambra states, respectively, following the World Bank reports to statistics as shown as the worst affected states, and the project is aimed at alleviating the suffering of 2,100 households and 12,600 persons. And out of this, which is divided into 350 households per state. Furthermore, it is worthy to note that the outcome will be immediate needs of the target communities are met through the provision of essential household items, including food and non-food items. It is also important to note that the provision of shelter, /VIP latrine needs of affected persons will have been met through this intervention. Water supply in the selected communities should have been met at the expiration of the project, thereby raising awareness regarding the anticipated flood in 2024 within and outside the selected states.
We are here today to perform an activity which is reflective of our efforts aimed at reducing the sufferings of persons affected by humanitarian challenges. 2 events which have the same objective are to be held as one this morning, and I am honored to note that the ECOWAS Commission will present checks for response to the flood disaster that afflicting Nigerian in 2022, as well as a check to support victims of violence in Nigeria in 2023, towards the stabilization of those persons of concern. Nigeria was accordingly allocated $906,205 United States dollars, and without doubt received the highest amount among the member states due to the impact of the flooding. Within the spirit of the same framework, the ECOWAS Commission provided the sum of $1 million United States dollars has found for assisting victims of violence in Nigeria, referred to as Stabilization Fund for Assisting Victims of Violence in Nigeria. Both funds are intended to assist the population affected in their recovery and resilience building processes. In line with the provision of the ECOWAS humanitarian mechanism, which provides for the process and procedures of delivering humanitarian assistance to ECOWAS citizens, the Nigerian government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviations, was requested to identify credible implementing partners as implementers of the project.
Our joint effort will include the provision of food and cash assistance to 3,500 households. We will also focus on constructing water boreholes to ensure access to clean water, thereby reducing the risk of waterborne diseases in selected communities. ECOWAS is supporting this laudable initiative with $906,205. With the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, we are ready to go to the selected communities to deliver essential humanitarian aid to 20,000 individuals, that is about 3,500 households, across the 6 selected affected states to aid the flood survivors to rehabilitate themselves and return to their normal lives. In this important partnership, ECOWAS will provide the funding. Thank you so much, Madam. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation will oversee the project implementation and ensure that the activities meet the needs of the beneficiaries.
Phase 2 of the project comprises a multi-sectorial intervention designed to address the underlying factor contributing to food and nutrition insecurity. WFP will provide a multi-dimensional assistance in Katsina and Sokoto states using stabilization fund from ECOWAS. This assistance includes food and nutrition assistance to 14,394 individuals over duration of 6 months. It will also include livelihood support, capacity for state systems, and psychosocial support to promote social cohesion and peace.